Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm back with another review. And we're talking a full length, no 3 minute review. And we had to do this because today I'm going to show you guys how you're going to form Superion out of the aerial bots. We got Silverbolt, Skydive, Air Raid, Slingshot, and Fireflight. And I hope I got those names right. About these three, yeah, him, the red guy, I'm not so sure. Now, I'm sorry if it's taken a little while. Stuff's come in, blah, blah, blah. Probably could have done this as a 3 minute review, but it would be like a piecemeal thing. But it gives me the opportunity to talk to you. Now, a few things I want to get out of the way. Some of you think I really didn't like the aerial bots. I actually do. I think the individual figures are fantastic. My issue was how the extra kibble was integrated into the set. As I explained when I reviewed Silverbolt, Motormaster, the extra kibble was its trailer. That's how Motormaster looks. If you want to pick up and play with Motormaster, it's a truck with a trailer. Silverbolt is just a Concorde. It does not have that extra back section. Now, and let me just stress that I think individually, again, as figures, these are better and a little more animation accurate than what we got from Combiner Wars. Now, yes, you're missing the Scramble City component, and that brings into my second issue where I kind of felt that this really wasn't necessary. There were ways you could recreate an animation look with the Combiner War figures, but then again, like I said, these do look better. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to prepare these guys for combined mode. And then I'm going to show you how to bring them all together, and we'll go from there. So I think we'll start off with Silverbolt, work around the limbs, and then I'll show you how to break down the Flying Fortress section. Okay, to start things off, you want to come underneath and remove the gun. And by the way, I do highly recommend doing all of these with the figures in vehicle mode. It is much easier. The instructions make it look a lot harder because they actually have you transform Silverbolt from its robot mode, which is basically taking it back to its vehicle mode, and doing what I'm going to show you here. If you have it down, fold up the landing gear, fold down the hip skirts like that, which are those rear landing gear. Open up the nose cone and flip up the tip. What you want to then do is come around to the back here, and you're going to wiggle jiggle this tail section up so it double accordions up like so. So it's kind of hovering like that, and you want to have it angling out. You're going to come around here, and you're going to do the same thing with the full nose cone cockpit, nose cone fuselage section. Bring it back, and you're not going to be able to lock it down or anything while that's angled up. And then, of course, come around here, rotate Superion's head around. Yes, I'm still disappointed that it's so visible in robot mode, but just go ahead and rotate it around, and there you go. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and let's take a look at the limbs. Okay, here are the arms. Now, first thing you want to do, if you have them out, flip up the landing gear, and you now the instructions just show you folding over the tail fin. If you want to, I would want to have this tail fin facing away from the fist, just to make it look a little cleaner. So since this is going to be the right arm, I believe, you want to fold it down that way and then fold up the wings, just like that. With this being the left arm, you're going to have it fold that way, fold up the landing gear, and then fold up the wings, just like that. Now keep in mind that these guys are going to split apart, so just, there'll be a little bit more of work to do, but we'll get to that when we get to the actual skeleton frame. We did the arms, now we're going to do the legs. Also, if you might notice that I'm leaving the guns on, you can do that, but if you want a more cleaner animation accurate look, obviously take them off. Rotate the tail fins around, just like so. You know what? I just kind of realized I think I had the tail fins on wrong, because there's a hollow section that faces out, I guess if you want that hollow section facing outward, you can do it, but I like to have the smooth part. But just rotate it like that. Fold up the tail fins. Fold up the landing gear there. Come in and bring up this back section. And now if we're going to do it like robot mode. We're going to tab it down into place. But as we kind of discovered, the nose cone can actually accordion back. And you're going to fold that back and up like so. That will give you the clearance to fold up the head. And then go ahead and fold the wings back. And you're going to peg them into place. And you'll end up with a little box like this. Do it again on this guy. Same thing. Less tail fins to work around, but it's the same general principle. Bring that back. Tab it into place. Bring that back. That kind of will just friction into place. Make sure, of course, bring these wings back and they'll tab into place. And then you get these nice little blocks that will go into the back of the legs. Okay, here comes the Flying Fortress. First thing you want to do is remove this tail fin, which will become the gun for Superion. Fold the barrel out like so. And then just grab a Silverbolt's gun, peg it into the barrel like this. Oh, it goes upside down. Because that was already upside down. So there you go. There's the gun. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. First thing you want to do is come back here, remove this, flip up this panel here, flip up that panel there, remove this back section. And then what you want to do is just fold the legs down, fold that back, fold that out. And see, this is why it's easier to do it from vehicle mode, because when you have this in like the base mode, there's some extra rotating you have to do. Don't have to do it here. So you got that little section all set. Next, what you're going to do is just start splitting things apart. Split this in half. Split this in half. Just like that. This is the legs. So you want to fold that panel back and have it tab into place. Why is that one giving me a hard time? There we go. Rotate up what will be the knees. And that will let you come in, fold down the foot section. So there you go. You got one leg done. The arm, just go ahead and rotate it out like that. So that it is like on opposite sides. It's like opposite sides. So just rotate the fist out like that. Let's do it on this side. Fold that in. Rotate that up. You want to rotate that at the base, but then rotate up the joint. And then flip out the leg. And then boom. Boom. Fist. So let's get these all together. Now I can show you how to start putting it all together. Okay, so we're going to take this chest section here. And the first thing you want to do is this back panel here. You want to slide it in. And that's going to peg into a spot under the tail fin. Unfortunately, you can't really bring up that tail fin anymore, so it's a little trickier to do and get it all like lined up and stuff. There you go. Bring that down. And then before you do anything else, bring the tail section down. Like just it'll tab in and secure that into place. You can then bring down this back section. And then that will come in just like so. Almost looks like you're supposed... I wonder if you're supposed to... The instructions don't show this, but I wonder if you're supposed to split the... Well, if you split the tail fin, which isn't shown in the instructions, you can have that tab in like that. So we're going to do it like that. And then fold back the wings. Just like so. And then this front section, all it's going to do now is come forward on the double hinge. You're going to tab it into the chest and the front, what will be the shoulder area of Superion. So there you go. Very nice, solid, dense, no wasted pieces in forming Superion. That which is something very important I'd like to mention. Also, you have a very expressive head there. So let's go and take a look at the limbs. Okay, now either robot can peg into either leg. This I'm just doing it the way I kind of remember from the show and stuff like that. So we've got air raid here, and there's a little groove here at the top, like the base of the neck, and well, actually right below the base of the neck, and there's a notch right there. You want to hook that in, and then bring down. It'll tab. You want to bring it in. Now, it is very tight to peg all this in, which is kind of good because you want to get those arms in. But then you also have to do is the feet. And those are the important ones because those you might want to to give yourself a little leverage here, bring down those tail fins. And then just like that, make sure the shoulders are in. And the easiest way to tell if you've got this done right is if the doors here look closed, which they do. So you got that in nice and secure. I know some people complain that you don't see the robots from behind. That's just how it is. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just press it in, get it all tabbed in. Make sure it's very important you get them tabbed in deep and tight, or else those doors won't close all the way to form the legs. So here you go. You got the ankle pivot there. So those are done. Let's look at the arms. The arms work exactly like they did on Menasor. You'll notice there's this big black tab right there. That's going to go in that midsection there. So you want to peg this on, just push it down, make sure you get it down all the way, because that black tab is going to be the one that's going to trigger the separation. And it is a little tight on mine, but a little wiggle jiggle, and if you because it might end up untransforming the figures, but it's tight, let me tell you. Boy, that's really tight. Like I said, this isn't very tight, very hard to do. And as you can see, you are going to start untransforming it. There we go. Whew. So yeah, oh boy. Fold it out like that. It's going to accordion down, and then those gray sections are going to tab into the back of the forearm. Oh, God. Come on. Work with me here. There we go. Just like that. And then this section will come up. Same exact way. It'll tab in just like that. And there you have one arm done, just like so. Let's grab the other arm real quick. And it's going to work the same way. And you might have to do a little fixing of the figure if it starts to split a little, just from the stress of, the hand feel of like grabbing. The hand feel of, having to pull it apart. So just like that. Again, line it up. Apparently, these are compatible with Vortex, by the way, from Combaticons, aka the next combiner we're going to have to deal with at some point. So just get it on like that. Make sure you get it down all the way. If I remember correctly, this one was a little bit easier to do. Yep. So it just snaps apart. Oh boy, it is tight to get these in. This is like the second or third time I've done this. But here, okay, this one, you got it out. That will fit in quite nicely. And this one, I don't know, why is this not giving me a hard time here? See, it's right there, those two tabs go into slots in the hinge. Well, I'm going to have to fix that off camera, but you basically have the arms all set. So we're going to bring everything together. I forgot to press record, so let's put some legs on this guy, shall we? They work basically just like the Combiner Wars limbs. There you go. There's the one. Oh, there's the other. Just like that. You can spread them out. Just boom. Got ankle tilt going. Got the ankle tilt going. Gonna have to really pull this back. I'm pulling the camera back and everything. So, just like that. Now we're going to do the arms. Here's one. And let me show you a trick to get these arms off real quick. What you want to do is put your thumb right there and hold what's the foot of Silverbolt in place. And then what you want to do is angle out and then lift, because that little tab section really holds these arms in super tight. So there's that. There's the other arm. And there is Superion. And boy, I got the camera so far back. I got my light box pushed back just to be able to fit this in. It's kind of why I hate doing like these large figures. But here's the gun. Let's fold. Now there's two ways you can hold the gun. First, you want to flip out the tab just like that. Can just hold it in the hand. Sort of like there were times in the cartoon it did do that. Now, if you're like me, you kind of remember that the gun was like mounted on the forearm. So there's a little square divot, and you can actually have the gun up on the forearm. But we can really pose this guy around. Nice tight ratchet joints. Like I said, a very expressive head for Superion. I'm like really impressed with how expressive that head is. Plenty of articulation. Like I said, you might notice like here around the side, the joints for the arms, the joints, the robots that fit the arms, they kind of want to start pulling apart. That could just be a me issue and not a you issue, which is fine. But yeah, I really haven't even experienced anything like the Combiner lean yet. But then again, who knows? So how about we come in and I give you my final thoughts. Okay. Yeah, I did have to just bring it in a little, just for a little clarity's sake here. This is a nice combined mode. I mean, I do enjoy how it all comes together. You do have that animation accurate head as opposed to the toy head. And it works. And let me just say, much better than Menasor and Motor Master. No leftover parts. Everything is used. It's very intuitive to put everything back together when you're done, which wasn't the case with Menasor going back into Motor Master's trailer. And let me just also very clearly say, very sturdy. Everything's holding. Now, that's not to say that maybe in a couple weeks, or if you've had this on display, let me know. Do the hips start to lean? Does stuff not really work out well? But like I said, I don't know if this was really necessary. There were ways to get to an animated, accurate Superion from the Combiner Wars version. But then again, the Combiner Wars figures, even brand new, were kind of loose. This is stable. This is really much more stable than that Superion was when I first got it together with Alpha Bravo. Yeah, that's the thing. Don't forget, Slingshot, the original Combiner Wars Slingshot, was an Amazon exclusive. Now, here's some things to let you know. As of this recording, I know I have seen that the Commander Class Silverbolt has been on sale at Target. I don't know if it still is. I don't know if it's a regional thing. but it's going for about 32 bucks, which is way less, which originally was like 80, $90. So definitely at that price, it's not bad. Now, what about the limbs? All the limbs are available. Well, Walmart, for the holidays, is doing it what it did before, where it's packing two deluxes together for the price of one. They're having like those clearance combo deals. I have seen Slingshot packaged with somebody else. I don't know if Air Raid is the same, but if you can get like the limbs on some sort of discount combo clearance, it's a no brainer. If you can get this for less than retail now, going into the holiday season, pick it up, you'll enjoy it. But if you're on the fence, keep in mind you don't have the Scramble City ability. Um, you do have this extra bulk of the Flying Fortress that you do need to combine Superion. You can't just pick up 5 figures and throw them together like you do with the Combiner Wars version. But then again, if you allow me to continue, the Combiner Wars version actually is, I think the figures are going for a little bit extra on the secondary market. So again, there's that. But hopefully I've given you enough of a look. If you're looking for reviews of the individual figures, they're out there. Check them out. This is your old pal Chuck, reminding you to like, comment, and subscribe. Sign up for my Patreon, www.patreon.com/chuckdog1999. $1 a month, $12 a year. Every little bit helps. We are entering the season of giving. And that's about all. So once again, for Superion, we will see you next time.